The best part about emulating arcade games is that you get infinite quarters. Oh yeah. I'm rich. Hey there, how's it going? I'm TechDweeb, welcome. Thanks for clicking on the video today. I love making these kinds of videos where I share games that I've discovered that I didn't know about, games that I don't hear other people talking about, games that I think are mostly unknown in the big picture, really good games that just fly under the radar. But every freaking video I make with the words hidden gem, I get comments about how this or that game actually isn't a hidden gem. And it used to bother me until I realized that every freaking hidden gem video on the internet is like that. It feels like some people will only admit to something being a hidden gem if it was found on a floppy disk in a lockbox underground and literally no one has ever heard of it or played it before. And I don't have the energy to debate what a hidden gem is. I've got better things to do with my time, like carving erotic bath soaps for my side hustle. One of my favorite systems to go undiscovered treasure hunting for is arcade, because reasons. And one of those reasons is that since arcade games weren't bound to console cycles, they existed for the entire lifespan of retro gaming as we know it. And because of that, there's a freaking ton of arcade games out there. Lots of really well-known ones, but tons that you don't hear getting talked about often, if ever. And that's what we're checking out today. I have 7 of them to share with you. Great games that don't get talked about much and are 100% worth trying on your retro emulation doodad of choice. Speaking of which, I'm playing all these games on my cozy retro gaming corner setup with the 8BitDo arcade stick, which is my favorite arcade stick and my favorite way to play retro arcade games. I never did a formal review of this, so I just kind of wanted to show it to you here because I honestly love it and I use it all the time. And I'll toss a link to where you can grab one of these in the thingy below if you're interested in picking one up. And without further dilly-dallying, as my mom would say, let's check out some undiscovered treasures, shall we? This is called Crossed Swords 2, and it's basically Punch-Out but with swords and magic and knights and pixel skeletons trying to tear your face off. This glorious chunk of forgotten game meat came out in 1995 on the Neo Geo CD, so it's not technically an arcade game in the strictest sense, but I think it still counts. It was made for arcade hardware. It runs on the Neo Geo. It smells like arcade. And it was even ported to the arcade MVS years later. So boom, loophole achieved. We're calling it an arcade game. So this is a sequel to the original Crossed Swords, which was already kind of weird and unique and awesome, but this one is just better. You get 3 characters instead of just 1, and each one feels different to play, which adds variety if you want to play through the game more than once. The camera is kind of behind your character in this weird semi-transparent sort of third but first person perspective. You're blocking and dodging and attacking high or low, parrying. It feels super interactive and intense, but also kind of chill. It's like a sword fighting rhythm game where the rhythm is thrust, parry, don't get stabbed kind of thing. And the pixel art, oh, don't even get me started. I mean, I'm already started, so yeah, it's good. Really good. Chunky Neo Geo sprites, huge bosses, awesome effects, dramatic animations. It's everything I like about this era of retro game pixel art. If I could marry this game's art style, I would. And we'd get it on. And then soon after, we'd have little pixely TechDweeb baby diapers to change. It's also got branching stages, a simple little RPG leveling system, an arena mode where you just fight wave after wave of monsters like a blood-crazed wild dweeb. It's one of those weird, satisfying games that makes the time fly by because it's just such good, simple, dumb fun, which is good for dum-dums like me. So I was browsing through my library and I found Demon Front, and I booted it up thinking it was a Metal Slug clone, and at first glance it is. You know, the chunky run and gun chaos with the silky smooth pixel animation, the enemies exploding into fireballs, but then you play it for a bit and you realize this thing's got its own freaky demonic flavor, like if Metal Slug had a sexy goth twin. This one came out in 2002 on the IGS Polygame Master Arcade system, which I had to look up what it was. It's this, by the way. And you can tell they were trying to, use Metal Slug as the base, but they cranked up the weirdness. For example, you got pets. these little floating spirit monsters that hang around you and help you murder everything that moves. You can charge them up and fire off special attacks or use them as a shield. It actually reminded me a bit of the pets from Castle Crashers, if you're familiar with that game. Also, this is cool. You can glide, like jump and then float through the air like a majestic bird. It adds this whole extra layer to the platforming, which already feels super slick and satisfying. Just like Metal Slug, there are 4 playable heroes, and here each one has their own pet and their own little style. Way more personality than just guy with bandana and guy with slightly different bandana. This game is stupidly pretty. The backgrounds are ridiculous, the enemies are animated like Saturday morning cartoon characters, and the boss sprites are so big that I was worried they were gonna punch me through the screen. No, I'm kidding. It runs at 60 FPS too, unlike Metal Slug's 30 FPS, which means that it feels extra smooth, but also that also means bad news for budget handhelds. This game will absolutely destroy the frame rate on your cheapo emulation device. I tried this on my Flip Zizzle and it literally burst into flames. Recently, in this video, I reviewed a game called Empire of Steel, which is this steampunk shooter with like old-timey planes and zeppelins and whatnot. I love the unique setting, and I was happy to discover this one because Boogie Wings plays in that same weird historical steampunk shoot-'em-up kind of setting, but it's got this other kind of weird carnival side to it. This was made by Data East in 1992 for the arcade, and it's a game where you pilot a World War I biplane with a grappling hook, which is super weird and unique. And trust me, that hook is your best friend and your worst enemy. You can use that to snag any object on the screen, and then you just swing it around for comedic or destructive value. That mechanic alone takes it way beyond just another run-of-the-mill shooter. And when your plane inevitably gets blasted, you bail out and continue on foot, Rambo style, hopping into tanks, riding pogo sticks, commandeering elephants. It feels like Metal Slug and Empire of Steel drank too much and got into a wild night out at a carnival and woke up pregnant with Boogie Wings. And you might have noticed a common theme for the games that I picked to share is that the art style is always great. What can I say? I'm so vain, but I'm fine with it. The art style here is such a treat for your eyeballs. Every level is packed with detail. You got theme parks and snowy towns with giant robot bosses and city skylines that show off some lovely retro parallax scrolling. It is a demanding retro game though. And then not like the performance, but more demanding of you. Managing that hook and all the mayhem, and with the on-foot sequences that shift control style, sometimes it just melts my brain. And that's not really a problem because, I mean, it's an arcade game that I'm emulating. So infinite quarters. And you'll need them because this game is as hard as it is good, which is to say, it goes hard. It's that good. Or maybe it's good and hard, and that's good. I don't know. Okay, so this one's gonna take some explanation. Gunbarich is like someone shoved Brick Breaker games and shoot 'em ups and pinball and a bag full of sour candy into a blender and then shot it directly into your face, in a good way. It feels like all of those genres all at once, and that kind of flips the script for what you're expecting when you try this for the first time. Imagine the classic block smashing games that you know like Arkanoid, but now you have pinball paddles, and there's enemies that fire bullets that you can bounce back to them, and there's bosses that absolutely tower over the screen. It's made by Sekio, which is a company that has made some of my all-time favorite shoot-'em-ups. And this feels less shoot-'em-up, but it still does have that vibe. You're juggling a ball, smashing bricks, bouncing bullets back into enemies, and scrambling under some light bullet hell gameplay. And it hits me so right, visually. Everything's chunky and bright and animated and bursting with color and character. The bricks are like sprouting eyes and flinching when you hit them, and the bosses look like carnival nightmares. Evil teddy bears, floating pumpkin clowns. Don't do drugs, but if you do drugs, don't do them and play this, or you might not come back down to earth. Obviously, there's no like story or anything. It's just quick, intense levels that exercise your skill, your timing, but that's the charm. It's purpose-built for short, intense arcade sessions. Just the kind of game I love on handhelds. But like most bullet hells, don't expect it to be easy. The difficulty ramps fast, and you're gonna miss that ball a lot. You're gonna be toast. Next up is, wait a second, this isn't a game. It's just a message about subscribing to TechDweeb. That's weird. Don't know how that got there. Sorry about this. Just give me a second to get this sorted. I probably just need to restart. Don't worry, you don't have to click the subscribe button while I do this. Definitely don't have to do that sort of thing. There we go. Let's proceed. This next one's a bit of a weird pick, but I love a good beat-them-up game, so I couldn't resist. It's called 64th Street, A Detective Story, and it's what happens when someone tries to combine Final Fight with an old detective movie, but gets bored of solving crimes and just starts punching everyone instead. You play as either Detective Rick, who's this big manly man with suspenders and a powerful mustache that I'm frankly jealous about, or Alan, a spiky-haired karate guy in a little old hat there. And together you're on a case, a serious case, a case of extreme bad guy punching. And there's a kidnapped girl or a gang or something. I don't know. Who the hell cares? It's a side-scrolling beat them up through and through. You'll walk right, punch dudes, occasionally throw them so hard they fly into the wall like a cartoon. It's got that clunky, dumb, fun arcade energy that I kind of love. Like it doesn't feel super refined, but that kind of adds to the charm. Every enemy looks like they wandered in from a completely different game. There's pirates, circus strongmen, even some dudes that look like haunted mimes. I clicked on this at first because I was pulled in by the pixel art. It looks great. The scenes are really nicely painted with good variety. You got brick walls and broken elevators, grimy alleyways, a blimp stage for some reason, and it's got this cool detective jazz funk arcade style music. This feels like the kind of arcade game you'd find at a lesser known pizza place in a strip mall on the edge of town. Which is to say that this game isn't going to change your life or anything, but if, like me, you love beat them ups and you just want more beat them ups and maybe something that feels a little offbeat, 64th Street will scratch that itch. This here is Logic Pro 2. It's like an arcade game version of an amazing Game Boy game called Picross. If you're not familiar with Picross, it's this chill grid puzzle game where you fill in squares to reveal a picture based on number clues. You know, it's like Sudoku meets pixel art, but Logic Pro 2 doesn't want you to noodle around at a nice chill pace. It yanks you into this frantic ticking clock arcade nightmare version of Picross. Right away, there is a timer that ticks down, and every correct square you fill adds a tiny time boost and score, but when you mess up, you lose a bit of your time. And then, tiny enemies crawl all over your grid. One blob might erase your X marks, another chucks false X's into your carefully charted rows, and a sneaky caterpillar can completely block your number clues. It's like the puzzle is under attack, and you have to juggle solving with fending off these little sprites that are trying to wreck it for you. Plus, you can zap those little buggers. That fill button doubles as a weapon, making you constantly jump back and forth between filling in squares and sniping the little jerks before they can ruin your work. It turns the serene zen of Picross into a frantic arcade firefight. The pacing flips between just a calm logic puzzle solving to, oh my god, I'm out of time and that blob is eating my puzzle. There's also power-ups that do different things like bombs to clear X's or reveal rows. Considering that it's a pixel-based puzzle game, they did a great job of making it stylish in that 90s arcade way, with clean, clear design and great extras and this delicious sprite pop whenever something gets zapped or filled. Lots of dopamine hits to be found in this game. It is totally worth playing even if you don't know about Picross, but if you love Picross, like me, you need to play this. It's Picross that punches you, steals your timer, and watches you crumble under the pressure. At least I do. And finally, let's finish with a quick one. This is Chequered Flag. This one's a top-down racer, and yeah, there's tiny cars zooming around twisty tracks, slipping through oil slicks and crashing into walls, and at least when I'm playing, generally having a pretty bad time, but in a fun way. It's got a nice, satisfying feel to it. You're drifting around corners and dodging hazards and trying to stay on the track while the bad guy drivers go zipping past you. What I like about this one, especially on handhelds, is that the races are short and intense. Perfect for those quick pick up and play moments when you just need a distraction for a few minutes. And then you accidentally play for half an hour and miss your bus. The art is simple, but it's really nice. It's colorful and it's bold. It's got well-made sprites and good backgrounds. Everything reads clearly, which is important when you're bouncing off a wall at like breakneck speeds. And great, simple, but satisfying arcadey sound too. I mean, just look at the screen. It's not complicated. Simple racing fun. If you like Micro Machines or Spy Hunter or any of those top-down driving games, this one scratches that same itch. And that's it. That's all I have for you today. 7 great, sneaky little arcade games that don't get talked about much. Maybe not hidden gems if you're gonna get on my case about it in the comments. They're just good games that fly under the radar. And you should play if you haven't yet. Also, if you like this video, in addition to clicking the thumbs up button, you should check out my last arcade hidden gems video, or any of my other hidden gems videos. I'll include a link to the playlist in the thingy below. And now it's your turn. I want to hear from you. Do you have any good, lesser known arcade games to suggest? I promise I'll check out anything you tell me to, as long as it's an arcade hidden gem, or a photo of your cat. Speaking of which, I'm TechDweeb, thanks for watching, bye bye.